Alright, now I can see a little bit. Let's see how this goes. Oh, well, her I remember. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. Which is true. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. That was not reassuring. In any form of the word, that was not reassuring. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Well, I mean, it's keeping us guessing, and it keeps most of his other enemies guessing, so yes, that's kind of admirable. Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild pretty much from the get-go. Fuck. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, that would be murder, sir! Oh my god. I hate life choices. How am I here? How is this my life?
Don't ask.
Okay. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir! I did it, sir! I'll never kill anyone, sir! You got sir! And the cat is objecting. Hi, cat. Sir, I'm part of what you would call the younger generation, sir! A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend, sir! Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir! Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir! Sir! After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir! I feel like I should be offended at this. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. I mean, I can. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day, sir. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen, sir, and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, sir. Then I didn't, sir. After that, I passed out, sir, until another officer smacked me awake, sir. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you, sir! That's the Meekins family motto, sir! I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir! He knocked me upside the head good, sir! Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Alright. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card. Am I correct? Precisely, sir! I'm here. So then your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it, sir! This is the one right here, sir! Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir! It's 498-9596. That's my number, sir! I see. Huh. But the number 498-9596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir! The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get it after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir! That was when I spotted the thing on the security screen, sir! About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that I was unconscious, sir? Oh, right. Alright, valid answer. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too! I woke up crying tears of pain, sir! That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir! Your mission? Yes, sir! The Blue Badger, sir! I returned him to the entrance before things got out, sir! Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor, only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir? Take a look at this! It was sent to my the chief. Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir! A videotape, sir! It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room, sir!
Objection!
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at, sir. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Oh, isn't that just so goddamn convenient? Thanks for the self-care, LT. Interesting. That front locker's got something in it because that wasn't dangling out in the first couple of frames. And both Phoenix and Edgeworth are on the same boat I am. That tape told us a lot of garbage is what it told us. But they also don't have the they are written to not have the pattern recognition skills I do. Well, I believe we're all thinking the exact same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir! It's the Blue Badger, sir! Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir! Oh, new testimony. Okay. His face can be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him, sir. No one else could have unlocked it, sir. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions, and that's where I have to start. No. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir! Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, sir. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? There's a lot of problems with the security video. You're going to have to be more specific. But... strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction.
Objection!
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so that you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video, sir. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates this man wow, okay. Okay. There's a lot. Okay, hang on. If that door is closed, that's not supposed to be lit up.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir! Do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Oh god, why is it still playing? When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that is the way I understand it, sir! If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Alright, I have no controls, so yeah. It's just going to run through it again. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light. What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. I love how Meekins croaks like a rooster. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
Objection!
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field either. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor? There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too! There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. I mean, that one's actually fairly obvious. Because if there were something stuck in the door, it would fall out when you opened it. And it did. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Velvet being a smart today. I mean, when it's obvious, it's obvious. And again, I bought shinies for fun. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. Only if you put it in there badly. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. Shut up. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted. Come on. And Judge, I know you're not the brightest bulb in the box there, Judge, but please, can I have a modicum of common sense out of you? Just a small bit, just a smidge. This white thing wasn't inside that locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my time. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my time chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would have to block electrical current. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at that crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? I mean, it's literally on the footage. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. Oh, right. Edgeworth is having a field day. I forgot. Okay. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? It would appear so, sir! Order! 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 So, are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Objection! Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir! Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony. There's one other thing. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card, sir. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it, sir. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card, sir. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record here, Your Honor. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. Well, yeah, of course it doesn't. Phoenix's hair is already plenty spiky. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. It's not that...
Objection!
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not gonna wait, sir, yeah? I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. Yeah. I mean the other crime scene, yeah. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, yeah. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present, yeah. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card, yeah. Lost item report is only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, correct? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order. Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Huh? Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Who are you and what have you done with Edgeworth? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right, actually. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. I didn't see that the first time we watched the video, but I sure as hell saw it this time. There's a handprint on that fucking badger thing. Specifically, large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident in the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright, this person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know that yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Alright, there we go. See, that wasn't too bad. We got through it. I wasn't frazzled and losing my ever-loving mind this time, so, you know, progress. Whew, okay. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. I have? Oh, she thinks I'm a lot better at this than I really am, doesn't she? I haven't figured anything out. Lana? You're the one who knows everything! You always know everything! Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you! I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? No. No, she does not. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Aw, poor Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Scott. Good Lord, Gumshoe, what the? That's all right. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. Yeah, he's just going to keep laughing. You mean this right here, pal? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon to talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Skye was a witness. Oh, and now we're coming to the reason behind the setup. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this is SL9 incident. Is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killing. The Joe Dark... No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered, pal. I gotta be somewhere, pal. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth, not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. No, Phoenix, we threw a coincidence out the window 2 trials ago. knowing you, you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. So let me look at it.